So our partnership, I think, was a little bit different and perhaps unique if we had to compare us to the others. Our partnership started really, between Patrick and our MMI group CEO, Nicolaas Creer. So, he was the first guy in the partnership. Unfortunately, Nicolaas' schedule didn't allow him to participate to the extent that it's required to make this a success. And I became the spare wheel partner. So I joined the program in May or in April of last year. And unfortunately, Patrick had to settle for second best, as you may see during the course of the presentation. So I'm going to hand over to Patrick just to share a little bit about the school and the challenges that we faced.
Thank you, partner. Thank you, Brant. We'd like to take the opportunity as the school to extend our gratitude to Mauritian first and to everybody for listening. Firstly, as a school, we believe that in everything that we do, we want to strive for excellence. And therefore, in striving for excellence, by the time the partnership started, we have already introduced targets. The targets were about running the school or the organization itself on profit making in a school. That, listen, we do not want to make any loss in terms of time. The pass rate has to go up at all times. And therefore, the challenges that therefore we brought to the attention of the partnership was that in ensuring that we make sure that the targets are met, in a certain way, we need to contract everybody. I, as the principal, I have to be contracted to make sure that I get accountable and responsible of my actions. And the same goes to both deputy principals, the 5 head of departments, the teachers, the parents, and the learners. And our goal was to ensure that we monitor and we evaluate as expected, and ensure that the targets that we have set ourselves per term and until the end of the year, we achieve. And most importantly, the journey is about that in the year 2018, every learner that registers in our school, at the end of the year, we want to achieve 100% pass rate. Secondly, in every school, in every organization, you'll find that there are plans. What is the challenge for us is to ensure that those particular plans are therefore turned into actions. Unlike many schools here, the presentations that I met, our school, there was a time that we had about 3,000 learners, and we were never proud about it. And we said we need to reduce the number of learners, and the plan is working. We don't want to grow, but we want to become a small school with sizable learners, sizable staff, so that we could be able to provide quality public education to all our customers. The other challenge, we need to live with the times. Today, technology is growing, and also in education. When I met Brant, I told him that we want one day, and we shared this vision with the parents, that we want one day to post the homework on the school website. And we were quite aware that every teacher, every parent, and most of the learners, one owns a phone. And mostly those small phones are smartphones. And most importantly, we knew that there was Wi-Fi connectivity in our townships. Therefore, it was possible that we could post homeworks and make sure that those homeworks are done also online, and probably our teachers also giving feedback online. In doing this, we knew that we had limited resources. Thank you, Brant.
Thanks, Patrick. So our partnership, perhaps because we started a little bit late, like many of the others, found that perhaps a year is just a little bit too little to implement all that we wanted to do. And I'm very excited that our partnership will continue during the next year. And I'm just going to briefly share with you some of the successes that we've achieved during the course of 2016. So the first thing, Patrick referred to was just making sure that this vision of, in 2018, achieving a pass rate of 100%, that we started to really evaluate our progress, understand, how we are monitoring our staff, understand what those targets are, and understand what the plans are that need to be achieved. So we've spent a lot of time putting in place processes, and we're in the process of putting in place some performance contracts, which is quite unique in I think, in the environment for the SMT members. I must, at this point, I think, acknowledge the SMT. Patrick's SMT, I've been immensely impressed with. They've welcomed me with open arms. I've had the privilege of spending at least, in half an hour or so on a monthly basis with each SMT member, working through what is happening in their respective learning areas, the progress they are making, the plans they have, the challenges they have. And I am, very, very impressed with the quality of leadership, and it's reflected in how results in the school have achieved and how the targets that were set up front are really being met, on a termly basis. The second thing that we focused on was taking these challenges and translating that into action. So a lot of work we've done, on that part. And as I said, I had the privilege of reviewing that with the SMT members. The big, thing that Patrick identified around connectivity, we've not yet been successful, but in Afrikaans we have a saying, die hoop beskaam nooit. So there is still faith. We have ended at the Telkom CEO level, but we have not yet been successful to translate, I suppose, talk into action. But we will endeavour to do so during the course of the next year. And then, from an MMI point of view, we've been able to make, I think, some contributions. A lot of it will again happen in 2017 to assist the school with the identified resource challenges that it does have. That speaks to computer literacy training, learner-teacher support materials, and the like. Patrick, your perspectives.
Thank you so much. The gift that we took away from PFP, not myself only, but the entire school management team. One is that it created a platform to share knowledge and get access to solutions when we share the challenges as colleagues. And secondly, it also brought an experience to all of us, including myself, that it is possible to become assertive. I took a gift from Brandt, because remember, when we started this relationship, when I told Marishan, I said, yes, Momentum is a great company, but if they want to bring their money here, we are not interested in their money. We are interested in sharing knowledge so that as an organization we could grow. And I take away the gift of being more organized, better organized, more focused, and planning better to achieve the targets of the school. And lastly, the program has equipped me with more knowledge, skills, and the correct attitude to become a better manager.
Thank you, Patrick. I think from my point of view, just a few brief learnings. I think all of us so often hide behind the fact that we are busy, and being busy prevents us from translating perhaps sometimes the hopes, the dreams, the ideas we have into action. And what this program has taught me is that you do have the ability, if you really believe in something, to make time for it, if you prioritize it appropriately. What I learned from Patrick and his SMT is really, the gift of committing fully to something and not always making excuses for why things can't be done, but finding reasons why things can be done. Secondly, I think we are often confronted in our country at least, and perhaps 2016 was an exceptional year from that point of view, with bad news. If you open social media, normal media, you read about all the things that go wrong. And this partnership, through Patrick, but also just the exposure to the other school principals, the other business leaders, has really refreshed my hope for our country. It's refreshed my faith in our ability to address our own challenges, and I'm just so much inspired by the wonderful people we have. And if you take that as a microcosm of our society, I really still have the greatest of hope that we can make this country the big success that all of us want to do. And Partners for Possibility, I think, is such a wonderful program from that point of view. Lastly, that would be nice, thank you. It would be remiss of me to not also just acknowledge Patrick as the leader. Patrick, if you WhatsApp him, you will see that his WhatsApp profile photo says, it's a quote from Gandhi that says, "Be the change in the world that you want to see." And Patrick is really an example of that. His humility, his courage to really take on difficult challenges, his involvement both in his school, in his community, in his union, where he's a recognized leader, is something that for me was a great inspiration. And I think, if I have to be brutally honest, I thought when I started this program that I was going to be the one sort of giving, and I wasn't really going to get a lot. And I think, that idea of mine was turned around completely. And I think I gained a lot more than what I possibly, gave to Patrick and to the school. And for that, I'm eternally thankful for him. So thank you, Patrick.
That makes sense.
Lastly, and perhaps it's apt that Patrick and I are, closing the presentations. A theme that you may have noticed through everyone's presentation is this theme of really wanting to make a difference. And I think it's opportune for us just to reflect on the words of our former president and probably the most well-known and recognized South African of all time. And that quote that says, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived, it is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead." And we can use opportunities like Partners for Possibility to make that difference, to live a life of significance, but we can also use every other opportunity every day with interactions with any person that we meet, I think, to make that same difference. We don't have to wait for something. The opportunity is knocking on our doors. Thank you very much, and thank you to Marichen for facilitating such a wonderful experience for us.